my name is Desalita Rafni. You can call me Lita. In this video, I will analyze a movie entitled The Witches 2020. This is the movie. So what is so special about this movie and why I chose this movie to be analyzed in this video? Well, The Witches is a fantasy comedy released in 2020. The Witches is directed by Robert Zemeckis, a well-known filmmaker, of course, who has directed several successful films such as Back to the Future and Forrest Gump. His background in combining fantasy with moral can also be seen in The Witches, so that's why I choose this movie to be analyzed today. Well, this film is an adaptation of the novel The Witches, written by Roald Dahl and first published in 1993. Roald Dahl is famous for writing children's reader that often contains dark humor and strong moral lessons beneath imaginative storytelling. And the other literature are like Wonka the Chocolate Factory and Charlie the Chocolate Factory. But the 2020 film is not the first adaptation of the novel. An earlier version was released in 1990, but the 2020 adaptation reimagines the story by changing the setting to Alabama, United States, and placing stronger emphasis of themes such as power, control, and vulnerability. Well, you might be wondering, what is the plot of the story? What is the plot of the movie? What is the plot of the novel? Well, I will tell you the plot. So, the story begins when a hero boy, whose name Charlie Hansen, he's a young boy who loses his parents and is raised by his grandmother. His grandmother's name is Agatha Hansen. Agatha warns him about witches, explaining that they look like a normal woman but secretly hate children and use their power to harm them. After that, Hero Boy and Agatha move at the hotel managed by Mr. Stringer without realizing that the hotel is hosting a witches' convention. At the hotel, Hero Boy witnessed the Grand High Witch leading the witches and revealing her plan to turn all the children into mice using a magical potion. Soon after, Hero Boy is caught and transformed into a mouse along with Bruno Jenkins, aka his friends. As a mouse, Hero Boy meets Daisy, also known as Mary, a former human girl who is turned into a mouse long before. Together, Hero Boy, Bruno, and Daisy plan to stop the witches, with Agatha's help, of course. They steal the potion and secretly put into the witches' food during a grand banquet. After that, the witches, including the Grand High Witch, are exposed and defeated, while Mr. Stringer and hotel guests realize the truth. In the end, Hero Boy, Bruno, Daisy remain mice, but they are safe and free. Hero Boy and Agatha decide to travel the world to stop other witches and protect children from their abuse of power. Well, after hearing the plot, I will give you my personal thought about this movie, because I found this movie, The Witches 2020, entertaining but also thought-provoking. While the movie is presented as a fantasy comedy for children, it raises deeper questions about how differences both physical and cultural are portrayed. I enjoy the visual effect and storytelling also. And I noticed some controversial aspect related to cultural representation. Controversial aspect that I noticed on this movie is the main multicultural issue present in The Witches, the abuse of power. You might be wondering, what is abuse of power? So, according to Michel Foucault, abuse of power happens when power is used to control, discipline, and dominate others rather than to protect them. power becomes abusive when it creates fear, limits freedom, and targets vulnerable groups. And what is the correlation about this movie? So, the Grand High Witch holds absolute authority over other witches and uses her power to manipulate, threaten, and control them. More importantly, this power is directed toward children who are portrayed as powerless and unable to defend themselves. I will show you the evidence how the Grand High Witch turned the children into mice. This reflects real-life power imbalance in society where those in dominant position often exploit marginalized or vulnerable groups. The witches' control symbolize how power, when unchecked, can lead to oppression and dehumanization. And then, what is a multicultural perspective about this? Well, from a multicultural perspective, abuse of power is a universal issue that exists across cultures and society. The film illustrates how fear is used as a tool to maintain authority, as seen when the Grand High Witch punished those who disobey her. This mirrors real-world situations such as authoritarian leadership, child exploitation, and systematic oppression, where power is maintained through intimidation rather than justice. In conclusion, The Witches 2020 uses fantasy to reveal a serious social issue, abuse of power, through this film. Audiences are reminded that power should be responsibility and that protecting vulnerable groups is essential in building a fair and human society. Well, I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for your attention. I will see you later in other films or literary work. See you next time. Bye.